we are now going to talk lastly about the typical mistakes that we can make while being in a group discussion. Now, most of the time we are doing things which we know are wrong, but it is always nice to know what is not appreciated when you're in a group discussion. So I will talk about the typical mistakes that we tend to make, and then you will know that you should stay away from making those mistakes. So the first thing that we'd like you to stay away from is emotionally having outbursts. For example, even though someone may say something to provoke you, to get your reaction, you should remember that you should never become emotional, you should never have an outburst, you should never get angry, you should never shout, you should never raise your tone. I know it's sometimes difficult, especially when someone can say something a little personal to you, but you must remember that you're in a group, you're being observed by a lot of people, and it also will give a very negative impression about you. The next one is, remember, avoid diverting away from the topic. Invariably, sometimes another person can start diverting away and we will also add something to it. Remember, by diverting away from the topic, you're actually telling a person that you're not able to be clear with your ideas and concise. So try not to divert away from the topic. For example, if the topic was TV as well as the role of TV in today's youth, then you shouldn't be talking about what your grandmother watches on TV, because here the topic is only about youth. So always remember, stick to the topic, don't get deviated from it, and don't move away too far out of the range of the topic. The next one is, try not to attack anybody personally. For example, if you're talking about the topic health, you should never look at somebody in the group discussion and say, oh, you're too fat, obviously you're not very healthy. Something like that can be a bit too personal, and it will make you look very negative as well as make the other person feel a little bit bad. Remember, also, it is not so much about how many points you gave, it is about the quality of the points. You can give even 1 point, but if that point is excellent, if that point is validated with an example, if that point is given with a wonderful phrase or a proverb, remember, people will remember it long after the discussion is over. So it's not about quantity. It's not about I gave 30 points. Even if you gave that 1 point, and if it had a lot of quality in it, that is something that will make people remember you. The next thing that you should try to avoid is egoism. Now here we all believe that we are the best. We all believe that our point is correct. We all believe that everybody else is not as good as I am. But if you have that mentality while going into a group discussion, it will be very difficult to get people to accept your words, and also you will not want to accept other people's words. So if that is that tendency to be a little egoist is there in you, you should try to remember that you are one with the others in the group. Everybody is equal, and in no way are you superior to the other people in the group. And the last point that you should try to avoid is, don't get noticed for the wrong reasons. For example, don't be noticed as the person who spoke a lot. Don't get noticed for the person who kept interrupting others. Don't get noticed by the person who lost his temper a lot. If you want to get noticed, it should be for your points, it should be for the facts you gave, it should be for your clear tone and all those great things. But if it is for all the other negative things I spoke about, then that is not a good thing for you to get noticed. So before we finish, let us just talk a little bit about what people are observing again in the group discussion. We are observing how you're able to manage people skills, how you're able to manage working with people in a group, sometimes managing the insecurities of others. Somebody was not confident, but you encouraged the person, you helped the person come out with their ideas, you gave that person a lot of confidence, you helped that person feel secure. Now that is something that people will definitely evaluate positively in a group discussion. Also, another thing that you need to remember, people are watching, are your verbal and non-verbal cues. And by this I mean your body language, what is it saying to others? For example, if I tend to keep my body faced away from the people in the group, it almost looks like I want to run away from the group. Or for example, if I keep looking at the door, it may make people feel that I would like to step out or I'm waiting for someone to come in. So remember, verbal as well as non-verbal cues are all being observed in a group discussion. Remember that you should always participate well and don't evaluate others. Your job there is not to evaluate, it is just to participate. You are one with the group, so you don't need to tell people that they are wrong or that their point was too long. You're not there to evaluate, you're only there to participate as one of the group members. And of course, last but not least, confidence. I think confidence should have been spoken about first, but I'd like to end by saying that when you're evaluated in a group discussion, you need not have great points. You need not have many points. But if you gave just one decent point confidently, that in itself will help you to be evaluated in a very, very positive manner. So, good luck the next time you go for a group discussion. Make sure you consider some of the tips that we have given you and try to evaluate yourself before you get in there to see what type of role you normally play. And now that you have these tips, what are the roles that you would like to play in the next discussion that you intend? All the best.